But you guys already know this. Do things with them, not for them. I love that. And then, you know, acceptance and compassion, like, you know, we know what compassion is, but like, how are we being compassionate to our patients that we are serving? Like, how do you draw that line? Like, what is that for you? Listening.
I guess too, knowing that everybody's situation is different and that there's not just one, I don't want to say solution, but there's not one answer to every negative or bad situation that somebody might be in, and kind of being understanding of that. Meaning, you know, somebody might not be able to get a job because of XYZ. They're maybe they haven't had the opportunity to get to some place because they don't have a car, or, you know, there's more factors in people's lives that can explain.
Tamara said on chat, being empathetic.
Oh, thank you, Tamara. Love it. And then what's evocation?
I was gonna ask you that.
Yeah, big words, hard.
It is big words. So evocation would be, I call them oars. They're open-ended questions. So it's really, you talk to them in a way, in a change talk approach, where you're like, you know, think about this, or what, you know, have you thought about this? Do you think if you look at it this way, or whatnot?
So it's to evoke other thought processes. Is that
Not just a yes and no.
Yeah,
That's cool. I think that
correct.
we naturally
Yes and
do.
no. It's not just yes and no. That's perfect. Let's see. Next, please. All right, so we're gonna go with a scenario. I will ask. Can you see it?
What?
The scenario.
Yeah.
You want to read it? So this is where like you're acting like the person one is the patient or the community member.
I don't know if I can stop drinking. I've tried too many times in the past, and each time I just go right back to drinking the same or more. I don't know if I can even have energy to try.
Okay. And then if we move next, so this will read what the CHW or peer, their response was. And does this sound helpful or unhelpful? So who wants to read it?
you can do this. I really want you to do it.
So what does that look like? What does that mean? I mean, you guys say
You're being too pushy.
right. But it's just simple. Like, I really just want you to do this. You can do this.
Just say no.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that simple. But, you know, when it comes to this, I think if you look at it from my experience with the peers, is we would have already done it by now if we knew what we're doing. And so it's like with you guys, it's work. It's like, I have all the information for diabetes. I know that I'm not supposed to have salt on every meal, but you know, it's hard for them, right? So it's like they have to figure out how they're going to do it for them, and then baby steps. And so next would be where we redo it. And so person one says the same thing. I don't know if I can stop drinking. I've tried too many times in the past, and each time I just go right back to drinking the same or more. I don't know if I can even have the energy to try. So this is a remake. This is a good response. Does someone want to read it?
You're the one who gets to make the ultimate decision about what you want to do and when you want to do. If you're up for it, we can spend more time talking about what you might want to do. I'm not going to tell you what you have to do. I'm here to support and listen.
How else could you say it?
I'm here. I'm gonna advocate for you. I'm gonna help you. Like, you know, I'm gonna work for you. But we have big goals for you. Like, you know, big goals, small goals, make big progress.
There you go. That's good. Anyone else? What else would you have said instead of it being that long?
I would ask, what have you done in the past that's worked and what hasn't worked? And what can we look at? You know, like what is something that we can't, like what's one step that we can do that you think?
I'm good. I'm glad that you said that. So it's kind of like maybe a pros and cons approach. I think that's helpful in the past.
Root cause problem solving.
What was it?
Root cause problem solving.
There
Trying to
you
figure
go.
out why things aren't working for them, and where it stems from, without getting too clinical.
Yes. Yes, and the clinical part. We are not clinical. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Okay, next. Okay, so let's go in, let's be collaborative right now. What are can you guys take like 2 minutes to come up with examples of that you all can share that you've done with your patients? And also like maybe elaborate more like what has been helpful and what has not been helpful.
I had an example of a guy through lifestyle medicine that the doctor suggested that he move more. And so when he met with the community health worker, he said, I guess I'm gonna walk for 20 minutes 3 times a week. And to me, it was clear that that's what was suggested. Like, why don't you try walking 20 minutes 3 times a week? And so I asked him, have you ever walked before, like to increase your exercise? And he's like, no, there's nowhere in my apartment complex I can walk. It's right on the highway. And so I'm like, well, what do you like to do to move your body? And he's like, I like to dance. And I'm like, well, can you dance in your living room? And by having that conversation of what he's done before, instead of suggesting what might work for him, he was able to come up with something he would really do.
Like that. Can someone share an example, what's not been helpful?
I think one that I work on a lot with patients are like attending their appointments and kind of losing track. I work with a lot of older people, so they're not the technology is not with it with them,
Right.
and they try and it doesn't work. And people are like, my chart, use my chart, but that's not helpful. So I say, can you get a calendar? Do you wanna write it down in a notebook? What form do you like? And a lot of them either like their little notebooks or they do like a big calendar that they can look at and see. And I say you can go to the library and print, or there's calendars at maybe like the dollar stores and stuff. And they're like, oh yeah, it's something so simple. And they say, I've never thought about that. So things like that, I've dealt with a lot.
Got it. Yeah, I actually worked with a client the other day, and little did we know, I mean, he was looking at maps that he's printed off and like going through it and trying to figure out. And then I was like, there's your phone, and he has Google Maps, right? He didn't know how to do it or didn't even realize. And I was like, this is going to be life changing for you. And he just smiled so big.
Yeah.
And I was like, it gives you the steps. Like, it was cool. So
Yes.
I was like, gosh, that's
It's
awesome.
simple.
If
It's
you're
just
walking
simple
or if
things.
you're driving.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And he just, but he also has to see the visual too at the same time. So besides the phone, he also has to have it printed out for him. So that's how he learns best. So